Yo, welcome Stormies, and another update has been gone live today, and we're gonna talk about it a little bit. Basically, this morning, or wherever you are, at the new Stormbound day, 12 new cards were buffed. Mainly neutral, nothing groundbreaking. Hopefully it will show some love to some underappreciated cards. Without further ado, allow me to disclose the list of changes. So that's basically it. We got nice end of the month rewards, and we got some changes, buffs to spice up the new season. So let's take a look at it. So we got Emerald Towers now have a base strength of 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So that's a minor buff of 1 strength, and at at least on lower levels, on higher levels even 2 strength. So that's pretty insane. Still can be killed or destroyed by an execution, but overall this will help the card to see some play. I've used this card a little bit in my token Emerald Shadowfen deck, which wasn't that strong with the latest meta, but before it was pretty tough. And I'm looking forward to play with that again. I think this minor buff stabilizes this card a little bit, makes it a bit more difficult to destroy. So hopefully you can get some value out of it. Probably still be no better than a mid-tier card. So next one, we got Bladestorm. Ability is slightly buffed. So basically it already started with 1 and then jumps to 2 instead of 1 and 2 damage. So, and on the max out level it deals consistently 4 damage instead of 3. So that will definitely help. Now it comes in range of Needle Blast without the base damage. But especially with a lot of Shadowfen going on right now, with a lot of tokens going on, this will be helpful. I think still this won't be top tier, but it definitely helps a little bit. So we got one of the favorites, Flooding the Gates, now costs 4 mana instead of 5. It's unclear whether that will increase the popularity of this card or however. Well, I think this card will always be a bit of a niche. It sees some popularity, at least on the Discord and the enthusiastic players on equals as well. So definitely this will see an increase in meme decks that will start using this card. So I'm happy to see this card being a bit more viable. Most likely still bottom tier, but who knows, right? Prove me wrong. Alright, next one, Unhealthy Hysteria. Now costs 3 mana instead of 2, and its ability now targets a unit with at most 4 to 8 strength on maxed out level. Basically, I'm not sure if this is a buff or a rework. I would say it will be a rework. It's difficult to say if it's a nerf or a buff. Personally, it feels for me that it is a slight nerf, because a 2 mana is very versatile and 3 mana becomes a bit harder to use. Obviously, if you can pull this off with an 8 strength opponent unit on his baseline to do base damage, that's insane, right? For 3 mana you're dealing 16 damage, which 8 of base damage. But I think this card becomes weaker whenever the target unit can become stronger, because the chance a unit becomes 8 strength is lower than units on 5 strength, because a lot of units get damaged over time. So this will be more high roll potential, and opponents are more inclined to play around this, because if you can get full value for 3 mana dealing 16 damage, well, that's just insane. And then your opponent is a fool. So this becomes a little bit more of a skill card and a high roll card. I think it will be fine for now. So let's find out later what is gonna be. So next one, Hunter's Vengeance. Well, this has become a 2 mana drop instead of a 3 mana cast card on the lower levels. And its damage is slightly increased as well. So this card gets buffs all the way. I'm not fairly sure how much I like this in the current meta. We see a lot of Shadowfen with Hairy Chestnuts, at least on the Diamond League, who abuse this card, or abuse, that's a big word, who definitely use this card to their fullest potential to trigger its Hairy Chestnut's ability and dealing plenty of base damage to your opponent while also clearing the board. And well, this will help them. It's also become a really good card against anything that isn't one based unit type army, so to speak. So we got the satire army for Swarm, we got the constructs for Ironclad, and we got the toads for Shadowfen. So most likely who will get some pain, that is gonna be Winterpact, who uses a lot of different unit types. So, and Winterpact isn't in the best spot, but it's fairly interesting to see how well this card will behave, especially on the lower levels. It might be a huge influx in usage. On the higher levels, I think this card was already pretty stable, and there it only just got a slight buff. So let's see if it was worth it. I'm at least happy that the lower levels can enjoy playing this card and also combine it with the Elders. So nice. Alright, next one. The Crazy Bombers now cost 8 mana instead of 9, and its strength is also lowered. The funny thing is that its base strength is lowered, but its ability isn't. In the past, Paladin Studios always try to make those numbers in sync, so it becomes fairly easy to remember what the strength is of a card by just seeing its base strength. But Shipyard is basically doing its own thing, which is a good thing. And let's see how much confusion it will cause. Most likely it won't be much. So this card getting 1 less mana is gonna be big. I don't think the strength reduction is a nerf. Obviously, I think it's just in line, and I think the one cost reduction is definitely worth the loss of strength, and especially since its ability is still the same, so we can still enjoy its ability a bit more, and you can get a lot of value out of it. Alright, next one, Harvester of Souls, one of my favorite cards to use as a meme deck. Might be able to becoming a good card after all. Basically, it's a reduction of mana by 1 from 6 to 5. And well, let's see how much fun we can get. I think still this card won't see that much play. But especially in the long games, this card can become insanely strong. And well, if you can see, this is now Heroic Soldiers as well with an ability. And we see a lot of tokens, by the way, as well now. So you can copy a Toad token, which basically is 0 cost. It's basically like Merge. Only this dude is also a body with it, with movement. So it's good defensively as well. I think this will make this mid-tier plus or something like that. Especially if the games become longer again. You really want to copy some freebooters and get some value out of that, because then you will definitely win the late game. Alright, next one, Terrific Slayers. Now basically increased by 1 strength on all levels. And well, surprise, this has become a Warfront runner with an ability. So this is basically the Dragon Slayers. And well, Warfront runners wasn't used that often, I guess. But with this, it might be interesting. I don't see a lot of dragons anymore. But well, if they are, and you like to play a runner, then choose Terrific Slayers, right? Like if the opportunity arises and you can use this card to easily annihilate some dragons, well, that's free value for you. And you can still use it to chip down or run down your opponent's base. Next, a Dangerous Tutors. On play, gain 2 strength for every other dragon on the board. I'm not sure why I'm talking about its description. Basically what happened is it's reduction by 1 mana. So I think in the past it was already 6 mana, and dragons at that time were very overpowered. Or very overpowered, at least that was the feeling. And well, to reduce that, it was increased by 7. But fairly to say, most likely that has impacted its win rate a lot. And now it becomes 6 again. So let's see how much it will go. Like the combination with Ludic Matriarchs in the past has become less strong, since there are Elders now who eat all those small minions that Ludic Matriarch spawns. So Ludic Matriarchs in a sense has become weaker as well. And we got also a nice Bladestorm buff, which can more easily destroy those tokens as well. So I think that balances each other out a little bit, and it also has a small reduction in strength on lower level, but on max level it's still the same. So I think it will be fine. Let's see how well it goes. I don't see a lot of dragons. It would be nice to see them again instead of all the elders. So next, Ironclad, unstable build. Well, +1 strength on all levels. I think that's pretty strong, especially if we're gonna jump immediately to the fortification tonic. That basically costs now 2 mana at every level instead of 3. And its strength is also increased. So this card is a huge buff. And in combination with unstable build, you got like aggro Ironclad is gonna be nutty. So Swarm was already in some kind of trouble. Well, now Ironclad has stepped into the area for aggro as well. So let's see who wins. I think Ironclad is doing pretty great with this, and also with late game Ironclad deck's fortification tonic is insanely strong. So also in the mid range, this deck will become insane, where you play like 4 cards and buff them like 6 strength on maxed out level. So that's like 18 value for 2 mana. And you only have to play an unstable build somewhere, or Fort of Amarok, or upgrade point. Like there are plenty of structures you want to play as Ironclad. Alright, and last but not least, we got the Underground Spring, the meme card from Winter Pact. Basically, its strength has increased on the higher levels. So that's pretty sweet. Like 250% mana strength-wise. I think that's fairly good. Cannot even be destroyed anymore with execution. But I don't think your opponent wants to rush down destroying Underground Spring, because who cares about your opponent getting 1 or 2 more HP. But the funny thing, which I find interesting, it's its ability. It now is also increased. Normally it was always 1, and now it can be 2 strength as well on the higher levels, or base HP I need to say. So at the start of your turn you can basically give 2 base HP, and that might matter, especially since Harry Chestnuts sees a lot of play, and we see the rise of Booming Professors. That's the rodent from Ironclad that shoots forward, and well, that's basically the chippers that we see at the moment. And obviously we have all the rush decks, so if you can put this one defensively with some decent strength value, might slow down your opponent, give you some HP, and then maybe Dangerous Suitors, or not Dangerous Suitors, the Broken Earth Drakes, that basically clears the whole board. That might be something that can happen, I'm not sure. So I would say Underground Spring is still a low tier card, but it's definitely not like something you want to avoid at all costs. So experiment a little bit with it. I will definitely give these changes a try. I think most of them I'm gonna just play like a dragon deck. It's nice to do. We can do an well, aggro Ironclad obviously. Underground Spring for winter, I'm not sure. Probably not gonna touch Winter Pact anytime soon, unless I want to lose some matches. Harvestral Souls definitely gonna meme and troll with that. Crazy Bombers. Well, we can combine that with Winter Pact with Gift of the Wise and Frozen Core. Might be interesting to see if we can deny a lot of aggro players with it. And obviously flood the gates for Suicide Swarm decks or something. Or Suicide Ironclad deck, where we just don't care about our own baseline, and then use that one to get ourselves out of a pinch. So that's it, gonna be that is something I will do. Hopefully you will enjoy it, and well, I like it that they don't buff the cards to insane value, like oh now you need to play it. I'm a bit skeptical on the Ironclad upgrades, to be honest, and there are some power creep cards that might be a bit problematic. I've read about it on Discord as well, but well, let's see how they address it. This is just a minor update. There will be more updates, and let's find out if Shipyard will balance everything out in the end. At least I'm happy that they do frequent updates, keep the meta alive, and let us enjoy another season where we can experiment a bit. So that's gonna be it. Thank you for watching, Stormies. If you like it, then definitely gonna give me a like and subscribe to my YouTube channel, also on my Twitch channel, and obviously my link for my Discord is in the description as well. Hopefully I see you there. Thanks for watching, and later.